flyer who is struggling to pull her heel stretch effortlessly in the air, but you have a pretty good front split, then the issue may not be your hamstring flexibility. The issue might actually be with the hip socket itself, being able to push your femur bone back into its hip socket so you are able to lift your leg up higher. For example, if your femur leg bone is pushed to the front of the hip socket, when you try to lift your leg, you might feel some pinching sensations in the front, and it might be hard to get your hip to rotate any further, even if you have good hamstring flexibility. However, if you're able to push that hip back to your hip socket more, then you have a lot more ability to move through your full range of motion and lift your leg up higher because there's nothing blocking you in the front. In order to be able to push your femur back into its hip socket further, we need to focus on hip internal rotation. So when we rotate our leg inwards, that naturally pushes that femur head back into the hip socket. And we also want to work on activating this glute muscle to help hold things back here so that we're able to lift up our leg higher. I'm going to show you my favorite exercise to help you get your femur pushed back into your hip socket further to lift up your heel stretch higher and more effortlessly with no hip pinch in the front. This exercise is a B stance RDL. We're going to use this block against the wall to help internally rotate our leg towards the wall. And then we want to keep all of our weight on this front leg. You can have your back toe down for balance, and you want to think about pushing your hip backwards. All right, so I'm keeping my knee stacked over my ankle, pushing my hip backwards so I feel a stretch in my butt, and then I'm going to slowly rotate towards my pinky toe and come back up. This is going to facilitate further internal rotation. I'm going to feel a bigger stretch in my butt as I go down before coming up.